Welcome to my channel, Tools for Ascension by Wolfgang. I'm Wolfgang, and my gift to you today is showing you the different ways how you can perceive things, with your body. Not just the eyes, not just the ears, but this whole body sensation. So, of course, we probably all know that we feel when somebody stares at us, from the back. We get this kind of funny feeling and turn around and then catch them red-handed. And probably many of your women, know also at which body parts, the other person may be staring. So, so we have a perception that we feel in our bodies somehow when we pay attention, that let us know what is going on. So the way I use this a lot is with crystals, or minerals. So, I used to work on the German Mineral Show in Tucson, biggest German mineral show in the world, some say. And so my wife made wands and crowns. So, I did a lot of shopping and selling. So when I picked up a crystal, so I would put it in my hand and connect with it. And then I would feel how it affects my body. Now this one here, creates an upline. It's of course charged. It's a beautiful isis crystal, slightly smoky. So, for instance, before I buy anything, let me just explain to you how I shop. So I put out the intent, to find what I need and what is useful for me. So what resonates for me. And then when I walked into a booth, my eyes would maybe go to certain places. And then I would investigate there. And then when I would ask, sometimes I close my eyes and open my eyes again, and then, my gaze was on a certain crystal. And even when I took my eyes out of focus, it still kind of seemed to be that one. And then I would pick it up, and then again see how it makes me feel. Yeah, and sometimes you get a rush and in your energy fields, and generally when it is of the red vibration, let's see, so I go on to neutral, and I feel my legs activating and my lower chakras activating. So, of course, I interact with those very nicely because I bought them, because I resonated with them. But if there is no interaction like this, I generally, don't bother, even if they kind of look nice. So, then it's quite, awesome when you have like a whole, maybe 2 cubic feet of moldavites in front of you, and then you inhale this, into your body. I mean, it's quite a rush, so if you ever, well, I don't necessarily recommend this, going into museums and then inhaling the energies of these crystals or whatever minerals you find, because they have been purified. All kinds of thought forms, from visitors, from the energies of mining and treating and trading, is attached to this. So I wouldn't do that. Another way, I use the perception of my body is when I call in entities. A lot of the issues of my clients due to entities. This could be, their own aspects from past lifetimes that got traumatized and are stuck in the lower astral and still, affecting them, plus their suffering. Or this may be enemies, whoever. Sometimes, or most of the time, I gotta deal, with those kind of scenarios, and I invite them in. A magician would say, they summon them. Well, I invite them in. Even if they don't come, I may have to summon, but they generally come. And, and then I can feel, in my body. It takes about 5 seconds till they're there. And then you can feel in your body, what kind of they are feeling. So many times, the first thing actually I look for is their whole signature. So is most of the energy low, or is it here, or is it here? And how fluffy is it? How loving is it? So generally I find that females, and it doesn't matter which race, and I mean race is like Anunnaki, Naga, human or Atlantean, they have a warmer, softer energy. It's nice and high. And with males, many times it's strong, and when they're noble, the energy is more up there. And children, the energy is generally weak. Of course, when they're children, when you summon them, this means they died early. So there was always a reason for them to be weak, but children generally have a very weak life force. And so many times, you can feel, without even seeing, whether it is a normal human or whether it is, let's say, an Atlantean. So an Atlantean energy is much, much higher, brighter. You feel much more enlivened in your body. Now, of course, human priests and priestesses and yogis, they also feel pretty good. But in general, don't come that close to the Atlantean feeling. And then, and sometimes, when like dark entities come up, like gargoyles or other really toxic beings, there is many times in the heart or in the stomach area, you feel this yucky feeling. And I call it, it even has a color to it. It's one of those pukish green colors. And you feel like throwing up or very nauseated, but it's coming from the solar plexus. This is most of the time their signature. And often when these beings come in, I feel their pain in my body. So as an empath, and most of you are probably empath, so when you suddenly, feel a stabbing in your heart, that means, something happened there with this entity. And so I find sometimes these are very fine, like a needle. Sometimes, and this could be, curses or something like that. And or maybe an arrow. And sometimes they're localized, but also kind of stabby. And this again, most of the time, weapons. Now, broken-hearted, it's more like a cloud of darkness, of misery that you feel in your heart. And you basically will feel in your body the emotions of this person. So this will give you a clue of what they are, even if you do not see them. So you can use your body to perceive what's going on. Actually, many times, we summon these people because we, as the healer, feel their pain. Suddenly, oops, there's something here in my neck. Where is this coming from? That's the question you asked yourself. Is this an entity or is this an energy? right? So when the answer is it's an energy, that's a different thing, but if it's an entity, yeah, that means, they probably had something happening with their neck, hanging, neck chopping, or stuff like that. So, and then you invite them to step forward and then deal with it, help them out to move on, see what happened, whatever else is needed. So yes, many times by certain pains coming up, as a healer, you know what is next, what next you have to deal with, instead of having to ask. So, but again, you feel this all in your body. Your body is the measuring instrument. Another thing that you can use your body for is when you look for things. Let's say if you want to know where's the next ley line here in the area, and then go on to neutral, of course I would smile, go into your spine, and then you perceive, where the pressure is around you. You go into 360 circle in perception and see where there is pressure. And, that's kind of where the next ley line is. And of course you can interpolate then and, get more details about it. And, well, of course, how do you use your body, perceive with your body? Well, when you walk into a room, a place, then again, you listen into your body, how you feel in there. So many times you can see where most of the energy is. It's probably below the heart, tight on the solar plexus, and whatever else. So, you can read the energy of a room too, and also the presence of people then. So if somebody behind you, is of a low vibe, yeah, this, you can probably feel this, and it's not so good. Actually, I would move away, because I don't think it's a good idea to sit next to a low vibe person for a long time. Sooner or later it's gonna creep up on you, and bring you down. Yeah. What else we can have? Oh yeah, let's just go through different signs, what I found out. So when I deal with ghosts and bring them to the ascension temples and chambers for healing and enlightenment, you can also in your body perceive where they're at. Sometimes they're kind of angry, and I feel this in my liver. So liver is the organ where anger is stored, and yeah, so that's the symbol when there's somebody angry. Suddenly you have liver pain. And then when this anger is being released, you don't feel it anymore, and this goes very fast, within seconds. This pain can leave. And when there are issues of heartbreak and misunderstanding, you will definitely feel that the most of the energy then suddenly goes into this area, of your body, and you have your eyes closed. With your eyes open, you probably won't be able to feel this because you're distracted by the visuals. And then when, there is enlightenment going on, through forgiveness and whatever, most of the energy is going to be in your head area. And then when they're, start to transcend, going into the higher dimension, this energy flows up above the head. And you can actually feel this in your subtle field when you close your eyes. And then, there is this area, I call this the Heaven's Gate. It's a dimensional barrier, and when they go through that into the higher dimensions, there is this kind of a drizzle of beautiful emotions coming down. That's with the advanced ones, that are grateful. But it's kind of like a shower of love it's a little different than love. It's kind of like a heavenly glitter coming down. And, that means they're grateful and thankful and, made it into the heavens. Yeah, so you can actually feel this in your body. This progression of their consciousness into the higher dimensionalities, it of course correlates with the chakra. And, well, another good example is you can ask for direction. So we used to sell crowns and crystal wands in Sedona. There was the Galleria in Outlet, and so we had to restock this about every 2 weeks. And we camped in nature there, of course. You don't want to stay in a hotel there. And so the first time we came there, it was dark. Yeah, and so we were like diving the dirt road, and there was no GPS, and looking for a nice wild camping place. So I just invoked my spirit and the local spirits there, and I asked, with every intersection, where to go, left or right, and there was a pull in one or the other direction. And I found a place, with a parking place for only one car, very hidden. We never found, over years and years and years we traveled there, a better camping place. Private, perfect. Pine needle bed for the tent, perfect. Yeah. So this one way of how you can one of the many ways on how you can use your body. So please give me a thumbs up if you like this kind of material, and give some comments. Maybe share some of your experiences, how you perceive things, through your body. And of course, whatever I teach, is kind of a system that tries to cover, whatever else is holding you down. These are tools for ascension, for expanding your awareness and consciousness. So if you like my material, just stay on and watch then all the little clips, little covers from other videos, and see if you resonate with them. Also, if you resonate with my message and my personality, I'm available for private sessions on Zoom, face-to-face, and we can really hone in. I can feel, you where you are, and guide you, etc., etc. And like always, keep on smiling. I love you a long time. Namaste.